Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Welcome. Hey, Ninja Buddy, welcome. Welcome. Power Girl, welcome. Avina, well, she left. Hello. And let's see who else we'll have coming in here today. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Hey, Shorty, welcome. Welcome. Saturday Night Smoke. Welcome, Smoke. How are you doing today? Hey, Frankie. And to anyone who happens to join us over on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, welcome. Brina. Hey, welcome. Okay, so I am going to stop it here. I'll stop it there. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me today. And today I want to know, what is the most annoying habit someone can have? Now, guys, as you know, Thursdays are supposed to be my fun shows, but sometimes somebody will say something. It can get serious, whatever, but Thursdays are supposed to be my fun shows. But no, seriously, I just said serious, and here I am saying seriously, but what is the most annoying habit that someone can have? Welcome, David. Do some people spit when they talk? Do they always pass gas, chew with their mouth open, or pop gum? Or are some people just annoying for some reason, or for no reason? I'm sorry, for no reason. Are some people annoying for no reason? Now, for me, the ones that annoy me are people who spit when they talk. And I'm going to say this: I understand that some people cannot help it. I understand that, but there are others that can. Especially when you're on the phone and someone is talking and you hear every time they talk, they're doing that over the phone. That annoys me. I'm sorry, but that just does. Welcome, Heiko. And then you have people who pass gas. Now, I understand that there's sometimes that it slips. Yes, sometimes it slips, but some people do it just to be funny. And I'm sorry. I was never there. I'm older and I'm definitely not there anymore. But even when I was younger, it was just never funny to me. Some people think it's funny and what have you. I think it's just gross. But my own personal opinion here, or people who, when they chew gum, they pop it. Um, Again, that's something that annoys me. And then you have the people who are just annoying for no reason. You just don't understand why they're annoying, but they just are. Um, so anybody want to tell me what annoys them? I'm pretty sure as people start talking, I'll come up with some more. And again, I know I do things that are annoying to people. Some things I do, people have called me out about certain things. One thing that I do when I'm driving, but I usually, when I'm in the car by myself, I have a habit of humming, just a no nonsense tune or something. I'll just start humming. Or if I'm riding my bike, I'll just hum. And if my husband or other people are in the car with me, and I usually only do it when I'm driving. I have to be driving. I won't do it if I'm on the passenger side or in the back or whatever. I only do it when I'm driving. Um, and my husband hates it, and the other people who've been in the car with me, they're like, "Could you please stop?" So that's something that I do. So anyway, so does anyone want to tell me what annoys them? Loud chewers, Brina says. People that have excess. I'm sorry, Brina. I'm just reading ahead here. Loud chewers, people that have excess spit in the corners of their mouth while speaking, dirty hair smells, and when driving. Okay, people are. I'm sorry. When driving, people that you allow to cross the street, but they walk across diagonally and stare at their phone. Yes, Brina, yes. Or the people that you allow to cross the street, or even other drivers that allow to, if they're trying to come out of the gas station and there's a lot of traffic and you let them go. What annoys me is when people can't even, can you just throw up your hand and say thank you? Can you say something instead of like, I was supposed to let you go? No, I could have let you sit there for another 5 minutes until the light changed, or, and Brina says I could go on and on. Brina, yeah, the people crossing the street, and yeah, and people, I'm telling you, cell phones. If you're crossing the street, put the damn phone down. Okay, look at whomever you're texting or whatever. Do it after you cross the street, because if you get hit by a car, the first thing you're going to do, and I've seen it, not where someone has been hit, but I've seen it where people are crossing the street or the pedestrian is not looking, and then the driver almost hits them, and then the pedestrian is like giving them the finger. It's like, hello, first of all, you're not in the right of way, you're crossing when you're not supposed to, and you're going to give me the finger? Seriously? Okay, I digress. Okay, and Brina says, okay, to Heiko, hopefully you're having a good few days off from work. Um, Smoke says, Rita, I'm crunching these plantain chips as soft as I can. All right, so let me ask this. Do you guys let your friends have passes that you would not let someone else that you don't know? Like Smoke. Okay. If we're all sitting around together, or he's on the phone and he's crunching and you can hear it, do you just let it go, or do you playfully say, "Hey, why don't you, haha, can you stop?" As opposed to someone else that you may really get pissed off at, or you don't care, you're just going to tell somebody to stop it or not stop it. Shorty. So, Short, are you saying nope? You're not giving a pass? Is that what you're saying, or you're not going to say anything? Okay, Brian says, I would say, dang, JP, really though? You know what? Yeah, yeah. But do you think that some people know? Well, hold on, let me see what Shorty says. I won't give them a pass. Yep, and that's what I think. Do not give people a pass. Do you guys think that some people do not realize what they're doing? Like they can be so involved in this bag of chips that's just so good that they just are not even aware of it, or um some people just don't care. Ninja says, my pet peeve is when someone is clearly in the wrong yet can't admit it, especially if they are a toxic person. They can never admit it and change. Okay, Ninja, what do you mean by clearly in the wrong? Because I get accused a lot of disagreeing with people, but I have my reasons for doing so. But people think I'm clearly in the wrong. So when you say clearly, what do you mean by clearly in the wrong? And Heiko says, you have to bring it. Okay, chilling with your family and friends. Okay. Oh, not just disagreeing. Okay, so are you saying that, for instance, if someone said, if both of you look out the window at the same time, one person says that it's raining when it's not, when clearly the sun is shining, but they won't admit that it's not raining. Is that what you mean? Like someone says the moon landing never. Okay, all right. Okay, got it. Got it. Well, you do have some people who think the moon landing never happened. So, okay, so Ninja, see, now I'm getting off into a different subject here, but I'm going to tie it back in. So, what do you do with those people? What do you do with people who either are saying it just to be saying it, like the moon landing. Some people, I mean, there are a lot of things that people think never happened or have. What do you do with people like that? Do you just let them continue to annoy you, or do you just let it go? Do you argue with them, or do you just say whatever? I guess whatever would be letting it go. Brennan says, I'm fine with agreeing to disagree with people like that. It's not worth any more breath after a certain point. Yeah. Okay. I tried to reason but just give up. Okay. Okay. So do you tend to steer clear of annoying people, or do annoying people, like, oh my God, here's so and so, whatever, and you just deal with them, or you tolerate them for however long you have to tolerate them, or do you avoid them at all costs? And what if some of those, or what if an annoying person is a member of your family? So, what do you do? And I will say this too. All right, guys. Yes, I'm going to bring this up. We were talking about the airplane last week, okay? But I'm not going to talk about seats or anything. It annoys me when people get on the plane and they hold it up, or they complain about something that you knew was a rule before you got on the plane. If you know that you're not supposed to do this, or you are supposed to do this, why are you going to complain? You knew it. You knew that you were going to have to do this when the when you bought your ticket, when you walked into the airport. That bugs me. That bugs me, because then it holds up your flight. On some occasions, some flights have been canceled all because of one person. Not cool. Not cool. So that annoys me big time, when you're in a situation where you know what the rules are, and people don't follow them. So okay, so let me ask this, because I'm someone who, for the most part, I'm a pretty direct person, or I try to drop a lot of hints, and if you all don't get the hint after a certain time, I'm like, seriously. If someone was, let's say you were out on a date, or with your husband. No, no, I'm gonna say date, because if you're with your husband and wife, you would probably tell them. What if you were out on a date, and let's say it is a blind date, and you just met this person, and they're sitting there and they're smacking their food or chewing their food out loud. They just have really bad table manners. Do you suffer through the date in silence? Do you just try to, get through the meal? And then what if you're supposed to go somewhere later? Maybe you're supposed to, or maybe if you went to a movie, they were one of those people who talked through the entire movie. And then afterwards, you were supposed to go to dinner with them, and then they displayed these bad habits. Do you say something? Okay, you would tell them. Okay, so Shorty's going to tell them. Brian's going to cut it short, and then Shorty says, "I'll go home." But Shorty, are you going to go home? And same thing for Brina. Are you going to welcome Angie? Are you going to cut it short or go home without telling? I mean, what if they truly don't know? Well, what did I do? Why are you going home? Or, are you sick? Are you going to tell them? Or are you just cutting this date short and they have no clue and they could think that they're having the best time ever? If they ask, I would tell them. But Brina, aren't you kind of leaving them hanging though? And Shorty says, I will let them know, but if they keep doing, then I'll go home. Okay. All right. So so Shorty will give them that that warning shot. And if they keep doing it, then she'll go home. Okay. But Brina, you're saying if they ask, I mean, but if they don't know and you just leave, and I'm sitting here at the table going, well, what? Why are you leaving? I mean, what would you tell me? But Brina, okay, so you're saying you're just rude. You're just gonna get up and leave. I don't know, Brina. I would have to say something because then you risk them. What if they called you later and said, "Hey, you know, Brina, I don't know what happened. You left, whatever. Can we try this again? Can I take you out to blah blah blah, and we can have another meal? And that meal thing is going to trigger you. I mean, what do you say? Do you tell them then, or do you just don't answer their phone call? I mean, I'm sorry, Heiko. I can't enjoy watching somebody smack their food. I'm sorry, and with bad table manners, I just can't do it. Brina says if they called later, we could talk about it. But if I'm not feeling the vibe, I'm out. But you're going to talk about it after the fact. Why don't you tell them right then and there what they're doing and then leave? I mean, tell them and then you can still leave, but tell them right then and there. Why talk about it after the fact? Because are you going to want to go out with them again on another, when you have another meal? Because I'm rude. I think it would come out wrong initially. Brina, there's a lot of things that I say that could have come out wrong. But but Brina, but at that point, does it really matter if it comes out wrong, considering that you're leaving anyway, considering that they have this annoying habit that they've done through the entire meal? Does it really matter if it comes out wrong? Okay, Heiko, you're confusing me here. When you say, I know watching them is a bad habit, are you saying that you just sit and stare at someone? Or are you saying watching them with bad table manners? I'm a little confused here. But how many of you guys go out, speaking of watching people, how many of you guys, does anyone go out and just like stare at someone if they're doing something like really, really um, uh, rude or obnoxious? Does anyone just ever just stare at someone and give them that look like you're really rude and obnoxious? Okay, so your Heiko says staring at someone is all the time is a bad habit. Okay. 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 Staring and people watching are two different things. I mean, you can sit and people watch. You can go to the park and sit down on a park bench and sit there and people watch, or sit in the airport, whatever, and people watch. But staring at someone, that's different. So, welcome, Mr. B. Welcome, welcome. So, and if someone was staring at you, if it was annoying for them to stare at you, would you say something, or would you get up and leave? Would you stare back? I knew Mr. B was going to come up on this one. Hey B, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, you're very faint.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep, better. Thank you.
Yeah, so somebody staring at you. How would you deal with it? Is that the topic as of right now?
It's just what is the most annoying habit that someone can have?
Oh, well, annoying habit to me would be somebody who's sucking between their teeth. That gets me. But as far as someone staring at me, um, yeah, I would kind of ignore it for a little while. But then if I know they're gawking at me, then I'll wave and say something like, "Excuse me, can I help you?" or something. But yeah, but no. Or they might be blind. They thinking.
This is true. This is true. Very true. Now, Shorty says, "I'll say what are you looking at? Do you have an eye problem?" Um, Heiko says, I'll stare back." Well, Heiko, you're the one staring in the first place, so so
They might have a lazy eye on you. Someone said,
I mean, but okay, so I'm going to flip it. What if this person is blind or they have that lazy eye or something, and you say something to them like, "What are you looking at?" or blah, blah, blah. And then you see what that is a disability or whatever. Do
"Yeah,
you say you're sorry or do you just exit the room in a hurry or what do you do?
I think the polite thing would be to say, I'm sorry, or, about it. But I'm sure some people they just, make a ghost and disappear real quick.
All right, so B, you came in and welcome Bob. So I'll address this to and welcome Mister. I'll address this to all three of you guys. You guys came in after the fact what I was talking about with this one. What if you go out on a date and this is a first date, blind date, whatever. Um and the person you're with, male or female, they have really bad table manners. Do you say something to them? Now, Brina said she would just get up and leave. Shorty said that she would give them, she would address it once, and if they keep doing it, then she would leave. But Brina is just out. She's not going to tell anybody what they did. She is just leaving. So, would you leave them hanging like that? Would you not say anything, or would you say something, and then if they continue to do it, you would leave?
No, I would talk to them. I'll joke around with it a little bit, like, so I know you're not like that for real. You have a rough day or something, but if they continue, I'm gonna have to cut it off short. I'm not obligated to stay there.
Okay, so and you said one of the annoying habits. Welcome, Doss. And you said one of the annoying habits was people who suck between their
Yeah.
teeth.
So if they're staring at me and sucking their teeth, I'm gone. I'm tore up. I said, I can't deal with this. Too much.
But you would tell them what you can't deal with.
Oh, it's a blind date. I mean, it's a first day. I mean,
Right, right, right. So,
oh,
so I'm saying, but if I mean, if you when you say that you're just going to tell them what you can't deal with, okay. Now, Brina said again that she would just get up and leave and not say what the problem is. I'm
right.
asking what you say what the problem is and then leave.
Oh no, I'll be nice enough. I'll tell them, joking matter, hey, hate to say this is bothering me, and they act like they don't care. It depends how the response, you know. I'm like, well, okay, let me use the restroom, and what I mean is I'm going to use the restroom at my house, but they don't know that. I'm not lying. I'll be there. I'm going to use the restroom. Hold on. I've been
So
nice enough to pay the bill. I'm like, here you go. Then leave.
okay, all right. Okay. At least you are paying. Okay, but see, on first dates, I think you should go half and half. I think you should go Dutch
But
on the
that's not
first
a
date.
date. That's not a
Yeah,
date.
but see, I think that as a woman that women should because not all men and I'm not dissing on men, but
Yeah.
you have some people are like, well, I paid for this and you're not going to kiss me or you're not going to give me some or they want a little bit more. I think just on a first date and it could date whatever.
You talking
I
about
think women
ownership? Is that what you're talking about? Ownership?
I
Like
I think
you
women
owe
should
me
just pay.
something?
I just think women should pay their own.
You ain't gonna do can't even get a hug? I mean, goodness.
I'm not saying you can't get a hug, but you know what I'm saying, B. You know exactly what I'm saying. So you know
Yo,
exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're
Hey,
talking
hey,
about.
Shelby. So.
Golly, I don't go nowhere super fancy anyway. The first date, I go to Applebee's. That's the most expensive
Well, I mean,
place
even if
I
you're
go.
going to Applebee's or if we're going to our McDonald's, which we talked about before,
McDonald's.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
just
they love to see you smile. Okay, I guess. I guess. Good lord.
so okay, so again, I'm gonna throw the first date thing out there. So if you are on a first date, wait, hold on for a second. Let me catch up on some of these
I gotta
messages.
say, so I told my daughter if somebody takes her on a date to McDonald's, that's not a date. I'm like, nah.
But what if that's the only thing they can afford, and that's it, and they're a really nice person, but that's the only thing they can afford?
If they can't save some money to go to Applebee's, then
I,
they got some issues. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, B. What if they what if that's all they can afford? Whatever. But they're a really nice person. They really like your
So you mean to
daughter.
tell if they can afford McDonald's, that means they can save some money and take my daughter to Applebee's.
Well, when I mentioned the dollar meal at McDonald's, you were like, a dollar? When was McDonald's a dollar? So apparently it's not a dollar anymore. I haven't been in McDonald's in years,
No,
so
it's $2.50 or something like that. Something like that.
I'm I'm just saying, what if they can't afford
I,
an
I understand what you're saying. So my question. So here's my thing. I told my daughter. I said, listen, I take all these nice restaurants. Well, I used to take these restaurants, everything. This to show you how a man, should treat you right. But if a guy's interested in you and say, you know what, I'm gonna take you to McDonald's and call it a date. It's not a date, call like hang out. I'm about titles. You don't call it a date. Ain't like, you know
okay.
what? Go ahead, what?
No, no, go on, go on.
It's the difference. I mean, like getting to know somebody, that's one thing, but a date is like, you know what? I'm gonna take you somewhere. I'm gonna take my time and talk to you and strong communication, whatever. I mean, a date is something serious. It's not just, you know what, let's go date. No. You date somebody, you're saying, you know what, I might marry you one day. So yeah. To me, it's about filling an application.
Okay. Now, Shorty says, but you have to know sometimes that they be testing females like that. And Saturday says, going to McDonald's on a date is only if you are in
High
high
school.
school. And I was going to bring that up. So if you're in high school, 16, 17, 18 years old, and someone
Mhm.
is taking you on a first date to McDonald's, is that a no?
I'm old school, so no, I'd rather the dude take him out to a picnic or something. It's about the effort. It's not always about the money. It's about the effort. Like it depends on what what your person want to do. You don't just you ask what you like and try to do what you can. So I'm not saying it's all about spending $5 on me. I'm talking much more about the planning. That's what I mean. It's the planning and the thought of it.
Okay. Angie says, nah, as long as he treats her good and I don't have to hunt him down, then we don't have a problem. Mr. A says, if they can't afford McDonald's, my daughter better reconsider. Let's see what else we have. And Angie says, maybe he's getting that and they're going to sit by the river or something.
I
Angie
get
says, you
personal
don't
on you
have
real
to
quick.
throw. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I get real personal here real quick. One of my daughters is dating someone, and my wife asked him, what? He's in high school. Like, what you want to, do? Like, what kind of job you want, whatever. He said, I don't want to work at Goodwill. Now, if anybody here works at Goodwill, this is not I'm not picking on them or nothing. All right, but I'm just saying. To me, that doesn't show any like I want to do something.
But did he say why he wanted to work at Goodwill? Maybe he wants to work at Goodwill because he sees it as a way of
Income.
no giving back or something like that. I mean, did you ask him why?
Yeah, he said just because it'd be a easy job to get.
Okay. All right. But then again, you're also talking to a high school person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in high school, you want to do this, you want to do that, so I mean, in high school, you're not really thinking about going, to work at Apple or something like that and become the CEO. I mean, you're in high school. I mean, even though some high schoolers do, but for the most part, you're in high school.
Yeah, but we was talking about future, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll be good there." So, like I said, anybody who works there right now or something like that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, you supposed to have some kind of goal, some kind of
So,
ambition. That's what I'm
okay,
saying. Some kind
okay.
of
So
drive.
does it annoy you? The gay connection. Welcome. So does it annoy you when and welcome Mama Bear Tracy. I think I miss you and DMAC official welcome. I just welcome you in the chat. So does it annoy you if people don't have um if they don't have a clear path of what they want to do with their life?
Yeah, yeah. It's one thing of not knowing and trying to find something, or just be find easy solutions. Just be settled. That's what I'm talking. Just settling. I just settle. Like talk to me, just settle. He's a nice guy and everything. He just settles. He's like the wind. No, he's like leave like the wind. I go wherever the wind takes me. Like, what? Whoa. I'm not asking to
I mean,
become president. I'm just saying have some kind of direction. And here's the thing: if you have a plan, that doesn't mean you're gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? But it just means at least you have a plan. So if something changes, you're like, well, okay, let me do this, let me do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta go by the plan because I got plans too. It doesn't always go out, but at least I have a plan to do something and work around it. But if you don't have no plan, how can you get somewhere without knowing where you want to go?
okay, all right. I want to finish reading what Angie says. She says, you don't have to throw money and a posh meal at someone to prove you're good for them. And Heiko says, her first date, we go to the girl's house. And Angie says, you give me your time and attention, treat me right. We are good. Let's see. All right. So I'm just listening. I'm just going back. I'm just thinking about what B said. So when you are on this first date and you know things un, um, annoy you in a certain way, are you
Yeah.
sitting there looking for things? Are you like, are we subconsciously sitting there purposely looking things to annoy us so we have a reason not to
I'll
go out
tell
with this
you.
person
I'll tell you
again?
one of my first blind dates. All right, and it's part of this. Uh, I took it. It happened to be Applebee's for real. Took Applebee's, and I was hard on money. All right, I didn't. I was so hard up. I didn't even buy myself a meal. Okay, I didn't. I had water
Well, then why did you go to Applebee's? Why didn't you just go some? Why didn't you go someplace where you didn't have to eat? Why didn't you just go to the park or something like that where you have to spend money? Go
because
go
she
go go,
said
go to the zoo.
she. I was gonna do all that, but she said she wanted to go Applebee's, so that was her request, not mine. So I'm like, fine. And we've been always trying to do something, but always something come up, right? So the day she picked is like the day all my bills were due, all my freaking bills were due. So I'm like, God dang, fine then. So I made it there and everything, and I knew I knew it was bad because when I sat down, she had looked at me, and we talked, and she just like gone. You know what I mean? Like no connection, just you know what I'm saying, just dull. But anyway, make a long story short, I paid with it in quarters, all of it. So there I was looking like Scrooge McDuck, stacking all my quarters in towers.
But
Uh,
okay, but B, I have to ask.
go
And I'm just gonna put it out there, and people can push back on me.
ahead, but go ahead.
If you couldn't afford it, why didn't you just say so? I mean,
Because I was young and silly.
okay,
I was
all
I was
right.
determined to see her. I was like, you got this guy understand this wasn't the first date. I'm like, I mean, it was the first date, but it wasn't the first time I was trying to meet up. Like every time we tried to do something, she had to work. Should I
No,
watch
I
the
mean,
kids?
no,
And then,
I get that. And let me just read what Mr. A says. He says, "We can all say it's not about money, but we all know that's not true. Life costs money." Uh, and Angie says, "Wow, what you want, you don't always get." And Smoke says that honestly sounds worse than McDonald's. You think? So let's see. Angie says she sat there, had a meal, and watched you drink water. You kidding me?
yeah, that's how it
And
happens.
Dee wants to know what year was this. Angie says, "Holy shit,
What
sounds
year
like
was
a
it?
princess needs her arse kicked." And Shelby says, "There's nothing wrong with paying in quarters. They spend the same. Yes, they do. Money is money." And then Smoke says, "Maybe she heard all of your coins jingling in your pocket, and that annoyed her." Boz says,
Maybe.
"Because we men, some are gentlemen. He wanted to show her how much he liked her." I get that. I understand that, but at the same time, and Angie, what was the attraction? Pretty face. I mean, again,
Hmm.
how many people? I mean, I think that would annoy me as the date, that you're sitting there not eating because I'm sitting there eating, and I'm going to be thinking, well, is he not eating because he can't afford it?
No, I played that off. I told her I already ate, but we can go over
Okay,
here.
but you already ate, but she wants to. I mean, but even still,
I've been telling you what happens.
okay. Did she say she wanted to go out to eat before you guys went out to eat?
Well, it was like a last minute thing. I was trying to do something, and then she's like, "Well, I can do it today." I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's do it today." And then I ate something before I left. But yeah, she was making all kind of fun about me stacking my quarters up and everything. And then she said that line that I knew it was over. She said, "Yeah, you're cool to talk to. I see you like a brother." Yeah, like that ended it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
some
gay.
ladies got some cold lines. Yeah, I like you like a brother.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
men have some cold lines too. So the gay
Well,
connection
I
says,
want to hear one. I
don't
want to
break
hear.
don't break yourself for anyone. I am with you. If you cannot afford it, and if you have some bills to pay, it's going to have to be. I'm going to have to come out and tell you, I'm sorry, I cannot afford it, or we're going to have to do this another day. But more than likely,
I
I
was
would say
25,
I
25 and 7.
25 years old, and you couldn't say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I was trying to be
Societal
your friend.
pressures. And then Shorty says, "I would have shared with you." See, Shorty would have shared.
I know she would have.
Okay, Bob says we need to wine and dine women, and Mr. B done what he could. Now, see, Bob, you're taking this into an entirely different subject, because all women do not have to be wine and dine. Just have fun, go show you a good time. I mean, to me, you don't have to spend money to have a good time on a date, or when you go out, whatever. You don't have to spend money. There are so many things that you can do that are free, even though they may sound corny, whatever, but they're free, and you can have a really good time. You don't have to spend all this money and leaving tips and paying for parking and all that other stuff that will, make you broke before you even start doing the things that you want to do.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. As movies and stuff, a lot of them suggest you should go out to eat.
You said a lot of movies.
Hmm.
Okay, so why are you listening to what movies say? Why don't you do what you want to do, and dictate what your wallet can afford?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you watch stuff, and stuff you watch affect you. So a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of people.
yeah. I get that. That's what I'm saying. Why?
Yeah.
Welcome, Shy Lady. I'm saying, why are you allowing that, or as Bob says, societal pressure to tell you what you should and should not go or eat or whatever? I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
No. No.
I'm
No. I was just
I'm
reading.
just saying.
Yeah.
So
I see.
okay, so let me ask, would and you'll probably say no, but would it annoy you if the tables were turned and you were the one eating and she wasn't?
Hold on. First of all, I ain't letting no woman pay pay for me, especially on the first date. No, I
I
mean,
I
mm,
didn't say I didn't say pay anything. I said, would it annoy you if you were the one eating? Like if you all went someplace, she is not someplace that she necessarily said. You said we're going to go here, or
mhm,
whatever, and she does not want to eat, but you're starving, and
right?
would you not have anything and you would do something else? Or
No,
would you sit there and eat? Would it annoy you to sit in front of her and eat, and she's having a glass of water or soda or a glass of wine, whatever?
well, you said that I was starving, so if I was starving and I like food a lot, we got a good relationship. So yeah, I was to eat. I was to eat something small, like a hot dog or something, make it quick. Like, hey, let me get a snack or something. Cause I'm not. I'm like Snickers. I'm not me when I'm hungry. So yep, I'll eat.
So did you see this? Okay. And Brina said, yeah, she said, she liked you like a brother. And Gay Connection says, hit you with the friend zone. And she says, I would have said, you pay for yours and I'll pay for mine. Yep. I'm telling you, women on those first dates, you pay for your own. Shorty says, "Yep, I would have just been happy. We could just go to the park and you can push me on the swing." Oh, that's sweet. See, I mean, there are things you can do. Exactly. Put a bit of effort and thought into it. Heichel says, "I heard if a lady pays hers, that means I don't like you." That's not that's not necessarily true. I think it just
Yeah,
means
it's not
that
completely untrue either.
no, but at the same time, I'm just saying it from a female perspective, so
Right.
you don't have any pressure. Like I did this for you and I did this and you're not gonna give me some. Just you all can have another date, and if he wants to pay, that's fine. But that first date, okay. Gay says don't listen to the boob tube. That's when we just get a dessert and a drink. Okay, mister, are you saying get a dessert and the drink when you're eating and she's not? I'm sorry, I'm behind in the chat, so I know you all were commenting as I was talking. Mr. B was
Yeah,
talking.
you could share dessert.
Okay, and Mr. says I couldn't eat if she didn't have anything. Okay, so Mr. You're saying you couldn't eat if she didn't have anything, but could you sit there and eat while? I mean, could you sit there like Mr. B did and he didn't eat, but she did? Would you be able to do that? And if you could, what's the difference?
Yeah, she ate that salad up.
And Mr. A says either way. All right. All right. So again, I'm asking you guys. Let's see. Tron says you could have solved the financial problem by just staying home and cooking her dinner. Very good.
Right.
Exactly. Not gonna lie, this is making me hungry. And okay, so again, I ask you guys, when you guys go out on a first date, or when you all went out with your husbands or wives way back when, or whatever, 5 6 years ago, whenever you all hooked up,
Yeah, yesterday,
um
whenever. Okay.
yesterday, whatever. Um, do you purposely look for something that would annoy you to give you an out, just in case you want an out? Are you purposely sitting there to see if she's sucking between her teeth, or he is, scratching, or someone smacking out loud, or Crucible welcome? I mean, are you purposely looking for something to annoy
I'm,
you?
I'm confused. The first date, I don't know, but I thought it was like you get excited, like, oh yeah, so you looking, well, me, I'm looking for, it's going to be fun, excitement. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to have a terrible time. I'm going to hope she suck between her teeth. I ain't going to, I don't know, maybe some people do, but no, I'm looking for the cute smile, the nice conversation or whatever. I'm old school, I guess.
Okay, all right,
Who
but
says on a date to deliberately look for something ignoring?
okay, but what if you're set up? I mean, you do have a lot of people who are set up. You have those blind. Even if you meet someone online in some of these dating apps and what have you, people
Oh
tend
my goodness.
to catfish. So how do you know that the person who you're talking to is going to be the person that's going to show up?
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's a lot of catfishing going on now. So
Torn, was it Torn Cat? Is that what how you say it? Prawn?
trying cat.
Okay. Bring floss and a book if you get too bored, disgusted. Golly.
Oh boy, Mr. A
Should they
says
be
I would
playing the
rather.
tea at the table?
Mr. A said I would rather her eat, but I wouldn't put myself in that place. And trying when you said bring floss and a book. Not that I took floss, but I did take a book. Welcome, Moshir. My husband used to get mad at me because he used to always get tickets for the Dodgers game. They would be the uh, front row, right behind. I think the Dodgers dugout. That's where we always were. And I do not like baseball. I think it's one of the most boring things ever. And I would always take my book. And he didn't want the tickets to go to waste. So, if he didn't have anybody to go with, and I was like the second request, whatever. He's like, "I'm gonna go to the game with me." And I would go and I would sit there with my book. And it would annoy him so much. And other people would get annoyed with me. They're like, "I can't believe you're sitting right here. You have these great seats and you're sitting there." Yeah, I don't like baseball.
He didn't
But
want it your company. That's why.
well, you can't have my company and then fuss at me the whole time while I have my book while you're watching the game. You should be watching the game and don't worry about what I'm
That's
doing.
what that's what men do sometimes. We're complicated. We want you there so we can fuss at you. It's just the way it is.
So you just said men were complicated. So don't say that women are. So all right. So Jay says I think we're almost trained to be that. So does anyone else? I gave you all of my annoying things and whatever that annoy me. Uh, Okay, I have to ask this, and yes, it'll be funny, and maybe it won't. But let me read what DMAX says. I hope not. If you are going on a first date, you are more apt to overlook stuff for annoying things than look for annoying things. And Heiko says, I catfished my friend when he met me. He was shocked. And Mister says, I don't like baseball either. Just get drunk and and talk shit to people. Okay, I was pranking him when we were classmates. Okay, so, all right, so how many people think? Because again, I'm older and I don't think this is funny. And when I was younger, I just never thought it was funny. This whole people who just pass gas and they just think that it's funny as hell.
Mm.
I mean, is that annoying to you, or do you guys think that it's funny? You think it's childish? I mean,
I think it's smelly. I don't know.
well, yeah, it is. It is that too. Annoying and green. It is nasty. But you have people who think that it's funny as hell. And I'm talking about not. I'm talking adults who do it and think it's funny.
Oh, that reminds me. I had a long time ago. My ex girlfriend. She thought it was hilarious, so she used to fart all the time deliberately around me, and just thought it was hilarious. We're no longer together, so and no, that wasn't a reason, but it was part of it. It helped. No,
Oh boy. All right. So Tron says everything is complicated. I think I put my underwear on backwards. I think my shoes untied, and don't get me started on my remote for my TV. Think somebody wired it wrong. Okay, Tron. Crucible, I am and Moshir, I do know you all are waiting. Tron, don't get me on the remote control. It's annoying that they make TVs now where they don't have the button on the TV to turn the damn thing on, because when I cannot find my remote, it drives me up the freaking wall. Okay, Moshir, thank you for waiting patiently. I know you have been waiting. Thank you for waiting. So you have the mic.
Just I would like to say good evening, and I guess you change your name or the same name you have since last time, 2 days ago.
I'm still solid blue.
Okay, so
I've been solid blue.
okay, okay. Anyway, how's it going, and what are you talking about? Because I just come in and I don't know what is the subject for today.
Today is
Last time,
well
last time was politics.
Well, last time we were serious. Today, this is more of a fun show. We're just talking about what is
Good.
the most annoying habit that someone can have.
Sleeping.
Sleeping.
It's good for everything.
But does it annoy you?
No, no. You know, if you feel sleepy, you just sleep anytime, even in the mid of the day, or you just give your body what he want, or what that's good for brain, for body, for everything. So how many hours do you sleep a day?
4.
Nah,
No,
4 hours.
I do.
Come
People
on.
who know me, I usually go to bed every morning around 3 or 4, and I'm usually up around 7:30.
Oh my God. So this is, I
And
think this is them. This is not good from my perspective. 4 hours, I think, for your body is not enough. I am with 6 hours a day, maybe 5 to 6, but not less than 5 hours, because you want to be functional. I think more than 5 hours is good. This is my, people. Some people they need 6 hours. Some people they need 7 hours, but the range is between 5 to 7, not less than 5, because you want brain to function. So
no,
I don't know.
I get it, but I have a lot of things going on. I have a lot of things I have to take care of, and a lot of things that I have to do. So
If you want to take care of everything, you have to take care of your brain first. So
I
your brain
I
will take
I
care of
I I
everything.
understand that. I understand that, but but that's another topic. That is another topic. But no,
Anyway,
I totally get it. But I function. I have been doing this for years, and that is how I function. And people who know me, they know that they'll get texts from me at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever, and sometimes when I'm finally going to sleep, the sun is starting to come up and I'm getting up again. So that's just how I function.
so your program is you sleep at 3 o'clock in a.m. and wake up at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock a.m.
Oh my God! And you work from 7, and you do your things until 3 a.m. the next day.
I am functioning and doing things that I need to get done.
Oh my God! You
So
spend
that
too much
is
time. You are
that.
going. You are going ahead of us. You are stealing
So
time from us when you just sleep 4 hours. So you are ahead of us maybe 2 hours a day. So every
well,
day.
again, that's a different show. So, but
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
let's see. D, I just want to see what D says. Your cell phone can act as your remote. Most brands can be programmed directly to your phone. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to do that because it drives me up the wall. So, uh, Angie, I am working. I have a very successful online business, and I am building it up, and it's doing quite well. Um, uh, I'm extremely pleased with it, and it's just me. And again, people who know me know where it's at, but it's a lot of work, and it keeps me busy. Plus, I love podcasting, and I am involved in other things. I do volunteer work. There's a lot of things that I do. So um,
So just solid blue. Just how do you push yourself to when you wake up? How do you just push yourself to wake up? I mean,
I don't push myself. My alarm rings and I get up.
okay, so it's habit.
So once
This is
again,
this is what you call habit.
I have been doing this for years, but again, this is that's a different show, and, so let me move on.
Okay, move on, move on, move on,
Okay, so
move
most
on.
sure, so yeah, let me move on. Crucible, you have been waiting patiently. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I've got three quick ones. I want to go back to your reference about passing gas and whatnot. Yeah, that has to be near the top of my list about annoying things, not just the actual physical act of doing it, which is extremely unfunny, but even references, scatological references, jokes about, crap or farting and stuff like that. I mean, if you're over the age of 12 years old, you should be ashamed of yourself because there's nothing remotely funny about it. That's just my 2 cents on that. The other couple would be people who don't know how to tell a story. They don't know how to wrap up their point. They don't know how to get to the point, and they just bore the crap out of you. And the minute they open up their mouths, you're going to be in for a session where you're going to be glancing at your watch several times. And the last one would be along the same lines but different. People who continuously interrupt you when you're trying to talk, trying to make a point, trying to jump ahead of the conversation. I've had many people who do that, and you don't want to be an ass and say, hey, look, would you let me just finish my point? But you sort of grit your teeth and go, don't you have any social graces? So yeah, people who just don't have any self-awareness and they don't really seem to be able to read the room or read the person, and they just plow ahead without any real understanding about how long it's taking, whether it's rude or not, and it seems to be very pervasive these days.
Well, Crucible, can I mention that last part?
I'm sorry, Sal, go ahead.
Can I mention that last part about people who interrupt?
Absolutely. Am I guilty of that?
I'm going to ask you, am I? Because I interrupt you a lot.
I am guilty of it occasionally. I admit it. I don't like it when I do it. I chastise myself, and there's times when you and I have been on the show, and we were on Friendly Differences a while back, and I did a very poor job of letting you finish your point, and it bothered me for a couple of days. So yeah, I am guilty of it. I don't know that you're guilty of it so much. You have a show, and you have to take
No,
control. So
I will say, because I just interrupted you now. I will say that I am guilty of it, and even when the two of us are not on the show or whatever, and if we're talking on the phone or whatever, I know that I interrupt you. But as you say, making a point.
no, and the fact that you acknowledge it is light years ahead of everybody else. I'm
I
not.
will. I mean, I will acknowledge it. People can call me out or whatever. I will acknowledge it. I do some things that that people may say, "Damn, Sally, what are you doing?" Whatever. But I will acknowledge. Yes, I interrupt. You all have probably heard me on this show. Yes, I do interrupt, and but I'm trying not to be rude. But it's more about getting a point, whatever. So I was just pointing out that last part. If you were talking about me, because I will admit, yes, I do
Oh,
interrupt.
I was not, but it's very. I'm not blowing smoke at you either. It's very healthy to be able to be aware of those things. I mean, it's one thing for us to know we're doing something and still do it because it's a force of habit. It's part of our personalities. The other real problem is to be in denial about it, and it doesn't sound like you're in denial about it. So I don't see it as a big deal.
All right. Let's see. Let me get to some of these comments. Thank you everyone for liking the show. Okay, Tron says he's been married for 25 years. Congratulations. D says, I hope not if you are going. Okay, I'm sorry. Chat jumped. Okay, hold on. No, Mr. B, I said basically I get it for 4 hours of sleep. Brain food, she's not going to change now. Nope. Sounds like uninvited advice. Uninvited advice is annoying. That's interesting. That's interesting. Uninvited advice.
I do that to my kids all the
Let's
time.
see. Shy Lady says, I can vouch for Solid. She's a very busy lady. And I'm always sending you texts every day at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. So, okay. So uninvited advice. Is that annoying? And I'm going to ask because I have to go back to what Boss said a couple of shows ago, where he said that sometimes we give people advice if it's to help them, and I push back and says, well, what if someone doesn't want to hear it? So can uninvited advice be a good thing? Or is it stay out of my business? And Brina says, my son is 12 and still thinks poop and fart jokes are hilarious. Well, he's 12. Something knowing people who think they know everything. Sometimes people need to be interrupted. Tron says, if I can just interrupt for a moment, I do a lot of questionable things. Let's see, just saying I would love, let's just ask the blue questions one night. Just saying I would love, let's ask. Okay, so all right, so I will do that show. I will do that show next week. If you all want to have a question show for me, I have no problem. If I don't want to answer, I will let you know and I'll tell you is personal. Okay, well, thank you. I'm just busy. Along the lines of something like you should probably cut your grass. I would consider that unwanted advice. But try. Okay, in terms of someone's grass. Okay, and especially if you live in an HOA, more than likely your grass is going to be cut because of the rules. But what if you know, like, what if you're elderly and you know your grass needs to be cut, but you're not able to cut it? Or what if you can't afford to have your grass cut? Um, yes, it's unwanted advice, but could you give unwanted advice in a way where it doesn't sound like it's unwanted? If that makes sense. I always try to make sense, guys. I don't always make sense, but I do try. Okay, Angie says I actually had this very scenario recently, and he would not take no for an answer. Okay, Tulian, welcome, welcome. I'm sorry I did not see you come in. So what about unwanted advice? Does anybody want to pop in on that one?
Yeah, I think I'll take a swing at that, Sal. I think it's a relative thing. I think when you're not looking for any advice, it's unsolicited advice is I shouldn't say always unwanted, but when it comes unexpectedly and it comes from a source that's maybe unexpected regarding a topic that maybe you're sensitive about, your instincts and your reflexes may kick in and you just automatically say, look, I don't want to hear about it. Didn't ask for that. But if you happen to know that the advice this person is giving you, even though you haven't asked for it, maybe on a topic that's something that you've been struggling with or that you know you're not good at or you know you need to work on, or nothing about cutting the grass, but something that's maybe more personal, you may push back at first. You may not let on that, yeah, you're right, I've been thinking about that, I do have those problems. But you may file it away in your head to go, okay, that's something for me to think about, that's something for me to work on. But I think it depends on the topic, the personal nature of it, who's giving you the advice, and whether or not it resonates with you or not. So I just think it's reflexive on all of us. It's human nature to push back when somebody's telling us something that we don't want to hear. But if deep down we know we need to hear it, we may not outwardly acknowledge that, but in our heads we may go, you know what, that's the third time I've heard this month. I may need to start taking this stuff to heart. So I think it depends on the situation and the topic.
Okay, I'm going to answer that, but I want to read what Troncat says. He says, I don't live in an HOA community and it's my grass. I'll cut it when when I'm damn well ready. And I'm too old, blank old, to do it. And I can't afford someone. So I guess it's just going to die. All right. So what if this this uninvited advice has to do with something personal to you, like some people think that you drink too much. Okay. What if some people think that you drink too much? uh
That's very personal.
no, and it is, and they want to say, well, Crucible, maybe you shouldn't drink so much, or every time I see you, or and we were at this party the other day, or we were right here, we were there, and you sure are drinking a lot. Well, are you functioning? Are you falling all over, things? Are you being rude to other people? Or are you just drinking a lot? So who am I to say to you that you're drinking too much when, again, you're functioning?
Right, that's a relative thing. I think if the person is functioning, and that's functioning is again a relative term. It depends on what your idea of functioning is. Then yeah, it probably is not advice they're going to take. But I remember you and I have had conversations throughout the years where you have given me advice about one thing or another, and I have not wanted to hear it. But I got off the phone and I'd think, you know what? She's got a point there. I've been thinking about this, and I didn't want to hear it at the time. The timing was not necessarily great, but it didn't mean the advice wasn't good. Was it unwelcome at the time? Possibly. Was it bad advice? No. So I think there's a difference in terms of the timing of the advice coming and whether or not it's any good, in the first place. So again, it depends on how willing you are to listen. But we have had conversations where I did not like the advice I was getting, but deep down, I knew the advice was good. So it may take a while to sink in and to acclimate to what you're hearing. But if you're an open-minded person and you do want to improve, you'll take it to heart. You can take it to heart and then reject it, but don't reject it out of hand automatically. Take it to heart, roll it around in your head, and then you go, okay, it makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. So I think you take it on a case-by-case basis.
All right, and I don't want this show to be about me and Crucible, but was I being annoying?
No, not in the at the time, possibly. At the time, because anytime
Possibly,
something,
or yes. Just go out. I mean,
it depends.
okay.
Sometimes yes, sometimes yes, but rarely. There were times I did not take the advice because I was stubborn, but it didn't necessarily mean the advice was bad. I didn't like the climate within which I was hearing it or the timing of it. But that's a separate issue. That's got nothing to do with whether the advice is good or not. Those are two separate things. So if it came at a time I wasn't ready to hear it, that's my problem. It doesn't change the merit of what's being said.
Okay. All right. And Brina says, I think if a habit or action is blatantly affecting you in a negative way, you should say something. And I missed something that someone else said. Tron says, I would say, that's nice. Would you like to drink? Or would you like to drink? And Angie says, just that name has set of my anxiety dentalux. I'm not sure what that means, Angie. I'm not sure what that means. And Brina says, okay, I read that. And let me go down. Okay.
Raise their
So,
blood
Chip,
pressure.
welcome.
I know what you mean. Raise their blood pressure.
Oh,
Hey
okay.
y'all, what's happening?
Hello, hello.
That's not good enough. Oh, honestly, this is daunting. Come in here and
Is that
show my
annoying to
love.
you? Because I said hello, hello.
Oh yes, hell yeah. I'm gonna just bang around. I ain't gonna be curious. I'm gonna say hell yeah.
Oh, you chill, chill,
Hey
chill.
y'all, what's up with you? But yeah. So if I'm hearing right, you're talking about the manner of what advice is given or news is
Well,
given.
we're talking about annoying habits that someone could have. And I think it was DMAC who said uninvited advice can be annoying.
Well, gotcha. So in general, that's always one thing that I always tell people. That's the real people. Like some people keep it. You know, who people who keep it real. When you ask them shit, I ask you to keep it real. You keeping it extra to me. Like it's not real. It's just extra. So I do get that. Any kind of criticism or even advice is always like when you have friends. Sometimes it's good to like ask, like, are they ready for that, or do they want that? If not, sometimes you just want you to listen, right? But sometimes as a friend, like if you see them going down the path, you gotta assess. You gotta make that discernment. What the hell you doing? Because I would want somebody, whether it's not, I'm not receptive or not. I do think that they would have my best interest at heart if they feel like they got to stop me and say something, whether I want to hear it or not. And sometimes
But
people know
can it be
already.
annoying to me to have to hear it? I mean, can
Of
that
course,
uninvited, unwanted advice be annoying to me?
of course, but that's why I'm telling you that. I don't give a damn if it's annoying or not. You need to be annoyed by it because I'm annoyed by it. I'm annoyed watching your ass, you know, fall victim to whatever I'm warning you about or giving you advice about. You know what I'm saying? I might be annoyed by you not. You might be annoyed you living with me as a roommate. You don't want to get no damn job. When you gonna get a job? I'm annoyed just by your ass being in the house, ain't paying no bills. Yeah. So it when we talk about annoyed, but at the end of the day, it's just a person that they have my best interest at heart, right? Or they just being an ass. That's what I kind of think about when people give me when I get because I get know a lot by a lot of different things that most people probably wouldn't even know, So it's just
So,
about being receptive.
okay, did you get my message in Podbay? I did, and I responded to you as soon as you said. I'm assuming I did get the message on the show earlier, and I did respond to you. Oh, you're talking about on daylight savings times? No, I didn't. No, I did not see that. Okay, Tron Cat says if someone on a particular path, wait, if someone's on a particular path and you got to intervene, how do you know that's not the path for them? How do you know that is the path for them?
Yeah, how
And
you know you crack? Hey, come on, man! You gotta get off this damn street smoking this crack. You annoying me. Leave me alone. I mean, it's some
okay,
advice is good
okay. I
regardless.
mean, for something like that, I mean that makes sense. Tony Lee, welcome and thank you very much for the gift. And Frankie says, great comments from everyone. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, Frankie, I missed
Chill
you.
will would not be your problem for letting someone live in your home without paying rent or having a job to contribute.
What they said now?
Tron, Tron says, chill would not be your problem for letting someone live in your home without paying rent or having a job to contribute.
I mean, normally don't
And
start out
then
like
he's
that, do it?
Well, no. And Tron says, how many people before you had to say the same thing? If they can't change on the first try, then there's no use, bro. Let them be. It's not your problem. And okay, so uh Jill, you said something that I wanted to comment on. Oh, I wait, is this what I want to say? Yeah, okay. So what if someone is in an abusive relationship? Okay, someone's in an abusive relationship, whether it's male to female, female to male, parents to children, children to parents, whatever. You're in an abusive relationship and someone keeps trying to tell you you should just leave, you should do this, you should do this, and the other person doesn't want to hear it, and it's annoying to them to for you to continuously say something over and over and over. Do you stop, or do you continue to give that uninvited advice?
Well, let me ask a question. Do you got nieces involved? Do you got family involved? Do you got your life involved?
All of the above.
You know what I'm saying? So, do you want me to just shut up
Yes, because you're being annoying.
while he put his hands on you or my nieces or
But
nephews?
is not your business. It is mine. Nobody
Shit,
asked
it's
me to
not. It ain't your
intervene.
business now because it's my nieces and nephews. Getting your ass whooped is your own business. You can go ahead and you can do whatever. If you like getting your ass beat, that's fine. But when it comes to them right there, that is my responsibility to step in and say something.
It's not your responsibility if I ask you to. So why don't you
Well,
stay in your lane?
all right, I'm gonna stay in my lane. When I come over there, if my nieces tell me I am gonna stay in my lane. When they call me and I come over there whooping his ass and yours because somebody put their hands on my niece, you gonna see what lane I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in their lane. I'm be in their lane. But when you
All
see
right.
child services at your house, you gonna see the lane you gonna be in behind them damn bars. That's the lane you gonna be in.
Okay.
So those things I don't mind necessarily saying, but overall, not to say it's that bad, but sometimes it can be that bad. So you gonna stay on them. I mean, you gonna love them. That don't mean you don't love them. People who love you typically want you to do well. And if you're doing something messed up, they on your butt because they love you, not because they just want to annoy you. I know
Okay.
you're getting your ass whooped, or what I'm saying, or you getting abused. I mean, I know you know that, but damn, I'm just trying to remind you. And you ain't got necessarily do it in a bad manner. You can encourage a person. You know what I'm saying? Like you beautiful, you whatever, you can do that. I mean, and that ain't got to be necessarily annoying. It's the way you could package it, right? Excuse me. You know, to try to be more motivating, or not necessarily nothing at all. Just give them like inspirational books or something like that. It's gonna be annoying, but you just keep on helping, trying to help, and
Okay,
they may come back and thank you one day, right?
maybe. Okay. Tron says you can't help those who won't help themselves. So, Moshe, oh, and thank you, Tony Lee. You're giving me another gift. Thank you. So, Moshe, I'm coming back to you. Do you want to say anything or push back on anything that anyone has said? Or
Actually, I would like first to talk about advice. Advice is something very good, and depend on the situation. If you want to take that advice, take it. If you don't want to take it, just leave it. But it depends on, as I say, the situation. And secondly, about what the last question you have asked, if that person is important to you, for example, for me and for my brother, I will keep giving him the correction until he, uh, one day, he will realize that I was saying the right things, and he will realize that what I was saying is the right things, and he will thanks me as just Shell will say, and I will repeat. I will not stop, because maybe I have more experience than him, and maybe I can see what he didn't and what he cannot see. So that's why, because I care for my brother, so that's why I will repeat and repeat again and again.
but Moshe, if I keep coming back to you and I say, stay out of my business, I don't want to hear it. Stop talking to me. Don't bring it up. I don't want to hear it. I'll deal with it myself. And you just keep coming at me over and over and over. And then finally, I say to you, Moshe, I don't want to speak to you anymore. If every time you come over or I see you, you have to talk about this, this, and this, we don't need to talk. What
Uh,
would you say then?
it depends on the relationship. For example, your brother or your sister, you can't, even if they don't want to talk to you, you will try to put your best to correct what is wrong. But if he is like your friend, and or someone like in the family but not close too much to you, just leave him and go away.
But if your brother or sister, if I'm your brother or sister and I keep telling you, stop it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, and then you start calling me and I don't answer your calls, or you come over to my house and I won't let you in, whatever. I just don't want to talk to you because I know
I
that
will
every
find
time.
I will
Okay, go
find my
ahead.
way. I will find my way.
Okay.
I will
All
find my
right.
way.
Okay.
If I care for you, I will find my way.
Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah.
playing both sides here. I'm just
Yeah.
asking. Okay.
I'm not
All
gonna
right.
I'm not gonna leave you, because I care for you and I love you, so that's why I'm not
Even
gonna
though
leave you.
you're being extremely annoying, you would
So what?
continue. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what? So what?
Okay.
But as
All
I
right.
say, depend on the relationship. If he is very close relation with me, I'm not gonna leave him. But if he is like friend or something, from my family, but is not too close to me, I will not give a shit.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh, and before I forget, I need to put this out here, guys, because I know I'll forget before the end of the show. On Friendly Differences, Ba and I on Saturday are doing an abortion show. And we, someone that we had that was pro life, they have baked out of the show. So if someone is pro-life, you all have really strong opinions on abortion, and you would like to come on and give your opinion, we're preferably looking for a female because we have a pro. I'm sorry, not a pro-life person. We're looking for a pro-choice person because we have a male pro-life person, and we're looking for a female pro-choice person. So if you guys are interested, please email us at friendlydifferences@gmail. Okay, so Crucible, thank you for waiting. Did you
Hello.
want to comment? Did you want to
Yeah,
comment on
I
what
think.
Chill said or what Moshir said?
Yeah, I mean, I think the family thing is very dicey when you're giving advice or getting advice to a family member. That gets very personal. You may be in the best position to give that advice because of your proximity and your relationship to them. So you may be best situated to do that. But sometimes there's a thing that's called hitting too close to home. And the people who know you best and are in the best position to give you advice are the people you're so close to that it's hard to be. It's hard to have that objective relationship because you may have issues between your family members going back, many years, and a piece of advice coming from a family member, it could be the same piece of advice that came from of a perfect stranger, the same piece of advice, and yet the stranger's advice carries more weight because of who they are versus the history that you have with the family member, and you reject that advice because you've got other baggage going on. So the family thing is very, very dicey, and when you get that involved, it takes on a whole different kind of complexion, and I don't think people think clearly. So I would steer clear of giving any of my family members advice. Certainly if they ask for it, be more than happy to, but unsolicited advice to a family member, I just think you're getting into a real hornet's nest there.
That's interesting that you say that. I want to read what Alpha Mike says. What about those who give advice to people even though their life isn't so great either? Absolutely. You have people who give advice to people, and the person who's giving advice, their life isn't that great either. And Shorty says, well, then that means stop telling me your business then. But Shorty, is it telling them your business, or is it you getting into my business? So if it's uninvited advice, is it you getting into my business? I'm not telling you my business. You are an outside person looking in. Whether you're family or not, you're still on the outside looking in onto my life. And Tony Lee, thank you again. Tron says to Angie, I don't know how it works in Scotland, but out here you can call CPS Child Protective Services and have that child removed from the unsafe home. Okay. And Angie says, or they constantly appear with marks or whatever. Damn right. I'm going to keep saying as best as I can. Tony Lee, you are just giving me all these gifts. Thank you so much. And Tron Cat says to Angie, to be honest, if I was in that situation, I would remove the child from the home myself. Let the parents do what they're going to do. They're adults. They'll pay for their crimes. Child is innocent. You can call someone to remove them, or you do it yourself. Angie says, I might skip. That one is a tough one. Power Girl, thank you for the gift. Everyone, thank you for liking the show. So, okay, so guys, Mosher and Crucible, well, Mosher, I'm sorry, Mosher. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Mosher and Chill. Okay, so if it's family, okay, and um, you know, Tron said, or Alpha said that if it was somebody you're putting your hands on them and they see marks or whatever, you are going to continue to say something. But what if the children are not being directly involved physically? And Chill, before you say anything, I know that on an emotional level, if you have children in the home and they are being affected by whatever's going on between mom and dad or the boyfriend or the girlfriend, whatever. But again, it's still uninvited advice. And if you're annoying me constantly with, I want to help, I want to do this, my niece or nephew is here, or my granddaughter's here, or whatever. Like Crucible said, at some point when it's family, let's take the children out of it. There's no children. It's just your sister, your brother, whatever. No children. Do you risk the relationship that you have with your family member because you keep giving me uninvited advice and I'm telling you you're annoying as hell? Back off. So Moshir or Chill, do you want to wait? Crucible, wait. I want to ask them first. So Chill, you want to answer that? Chill, you there? Okay, Moshir.
Um, you know, I when I said I will find my way, I doesn't mean that I gonna repeat my advice, but I will find another way to get my message to my sister or to my brother. like in short cut way, like in not advice, but I will show them the way in my way. I don't know how to explain it, but I will not repeat my advice 3 times, like just 2 times. Then if she or he didn't listen, I will find another way to show the correct road
But
or the
they
correct.
just don't. But Moshe, they just don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it. They keep telling you over and over and over. They do not want to hear it. And you and then it gets to the point where they don't even talk to you anymore. But you know that whatever is going on, and is still going on, and they just don't want to hear it. And
So
they're
that's what
not
I'm
speaking
saying.
to you.
That's what I'm saying. I will take a break, then I will come in another way to, but I will not say like advice, but I will show something that will maybe he or she will understand that I was right. Do you understand my what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I will do. That I will do something that will they will realize that what I was saying is the correct thing. You know
Okay.
that's what I will try. That's what I will try another way. Not advice, but I will show something that I was right, and then they will realize that my advice was correct.
But you still may get pushback.
But in another way, I'm not pushing back. I'm just
Okay.
showing the
No,
road.
no, 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 no. I'm saying that you may get pushback from them.
No, yeah, yeah. I will go away as I said, and I will try
I
to
mean, I'm,
try.
I'm, again,
No, no, no.
I'm just playing both sides because
I'm try to find way to just show that if I am 100%, sure that my advice is correct, and they didn't listen to my advice, and I know if they didn't listen that will lead them to something bad. So they are my family, they are my close, relation. They are my sister, my brother, my blood, so I'll try to find, it's depend on culture also, I will find way to show something that, not advice, but I will do something that will show them that I was right, so they will realize that yes, he
okay.
was right.
All right. Crucible, I am coming to you, but I'm gonna go to Shorty because I really want to know what a female thinks. Shorty?
Hi.
Hey,
Yes,
hey
I'm
girl,
here.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. What was the question again? Because I was listening and I was
I mean,
going.
basically, if you're in an abusive relationship and you have this uninvited advice from one of your family members, and take the children out of it, and they're giving
Okay.
you this advice that you just do not want to hear.
Okay.
Shorty, we can't hear anything.
What?
It's
Can you
annoying.
hear me? What?
I can hear you, but you have
I
loud
have
loud
kids in the
voice.
background. No, I have kids in the background. That's why.
Mm. I think I think you are
Okay,
driving or
okay,
you are
okay,
outside.
okay, okay. Moshe, wait, hold on, Moshe.
What? Okay.
Okay, Shorty, can you answer the question, or do you want to come? You want to come? Okay, we will come back to Shorty. Crucible.
Yeah, I think the example that you're giving there, at some point, you get into a situation of what they call the law of diminishing returns. And if you're giving the same advice or you're giving advice, it doesn't have to be the same advice, but if you're continually giving advice to a family member who has repeatedly made it clear they're not interested in your advice and they don't want to hear it anymore, not only are they going to be less inclined every time you open your mouth to consider anything you have to say, they're going to start, taking it out on you, and they're going to start having animosity toward you. You start to veer into the disrespectful area. We all live our own lives. We're all adults. We're all responsible for the decisions that we make. So even though, as Moshe said, he's 100% sure that the advice he's giving is the correct advice, that very well may be true, but not the advice itself is only half the equation. People have to be ready and willing to hear it and act on it. And if you have been the source of frustration and aggravation to this family member by repeatedly ignoring their wishes and plowing ahead with advice, now you're being disrespectful. Now you're out of your lane. And I think you've got to drop it at that point. Let the chips fall where they may. Let the consequences be what they're going to be. Like I said, if there's a point at which you have to step away and say, I did what I thought I could do, and now it's time for this person to stand or fall on their own. Otherwise, you're being disrespectful, and now you're crossing a line.
Okay, chill.
All right. So
I did come to you before, and you were
yeah,
not
no,
around.
yeah, I was on the phone. My bad.
So
Um. So in reference to this, I mean, with I did hear the part when you said without no kids though. So whenever it's something like a situation like that, um, you got to know that they in it, right? They know that they in it. If you don't know, then that's different. But if you do, it's not even at that point. I'm not even telling you nothing because you know you're getting abused, or you just I'm just gonna stand by you, right? And that's the encouragement comes. And so regardless of whatever, if you tell somebody the opposite of what they want to do, they're gonna get annoyed. But that's not when you reach them with annoyance. You just reach them with understanding and kind of reminders, of their value as a person, as an individual, and how much you value them as a relative, friend, cousin, sister, brother. You know what I'm saying? And how much you miss them, and you just support them as much as you can. And from that point, if it's you know sometimes those situations they will separate family from them, and just give them stern reminders. Invite them to barbecues, even when you know they're gonna say no. Invite them to the barbecues anyway. Invite them here. You know what I'm saying? And at times you just gotta contact the other person and let them know too. As a brother, if it's my sister or something, I gotta let the person other know sometimes. But for the most part, it's on that individual, and you gotta do it in the proper manner, so it could be a little bit more receptive. Regardless of whatever, it's gonna be annoying. And you don't know the whole story sometimes, and so it's always dangerous in those situations. And they will see like what you. Yeah, I remember when you was in an abusive relationship, or maybe I don't know, maybe he's getting from a person that you used to whoop your wife butt all the time or something. Who knows? You know what I mean? So if it's coming from that point, it can be hard. So you got to take that in consideration. The person, the situation, right? So for me, I don't care where good advice is coming from. I just want it. If somebody tell me that's the smoker tells me to stop smoking or never to smoke, I mean, who's the best placed person to listen to? So, I mean, they sometimes the people that they can tell you what not to do when they've been through it. That's the best person because they know how hard it is or how it affects firsthand. They don't necessarily have to be. And nobody's perfect, right? So you can always cite something with someone. Just
yeah,
just
but
take
just
their
because
advice.
somebody goes through something doesn't mean that they're, and they've experienced it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to listen to you. I mean, I smoked
No, they
back,
don't.
back in the 90s. I smoked 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day before I
But
before I quit on my own when I had other people telling me, "Oh, you shouldn't smoke. Oh my God, you're smoking all the cigarettes, blah blah blah." It took something happening while I was on my way to work for me to literally quit cold turkey. So
so for
everyone's
you,
not
right?
so right. So I'm saying so for someone to like Moshe said that he'll find a way, he'll find a way. But if they're just not listening to you, you're being annoying to them and is uninvited advice. It's like maybe something's going to have to happen. Maybe that maybe they're the person that's been beating them up or whatever, does something to the point where, oh shit, I need to, oh
Mm,
my God, maybe that's what's going to have to happen, not you, because they don't hear you anymore. You're just this annoying sound in their ear that just keeps going on and on and on. But maybe it's something else. Maybe it's an outside force that helps them, because it was that outside force for me that I was like, well, damn, and literally I quit that day. So
But you could tell me though, if anybody could tell me why not to smoke, it would be you, right?
I can tell you, but are you necessarily going to listen? I mean, because
No, I'm just
you have
saying. I mean,
people who
that's
say, "Well,
besides the
I've been
point,
smoking
right?
for 80 years and I'm still going. I don't have cancer." True. Okay. So am I going to continue to try that tell that person not to smoke and they've been smoking for 60, 70, 80 years?
No, I'm just saying. If I take advice from anybody, just because you smoke, don't mean I can't. You're not giving me good advice.
Right, but that
You know what I'm
doesn't
saying? Or do
necessarily
you
mean
do smoke?
you're going to. No, I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked since
No, I'm
90,
saying
whatever,
whether
but
it's whoever. I'm just speaking in general. If you just because you have smoked or you do smoke, don't mean that you not giving me great advice is saying not to smoke. So what I'm
right, but
saying, my point
but
was, it says,
people give a lot of good advice all the time that people don't take.
right. That's my point. So therefore, it doesn't necessarily mean that it ain't good advice. So therefore, I would not necessarily listen to someone who gives me advice. I would, but overall, when it's that, I mean, if the person ain't listening, this is a moot point. There's no conversation. If they're not receptive, it's not. It's about how you go about it when they're not receptive. Do you keep on pushing the envelope, or do you just, you know, be in, the ingenuity of it? You know what I mean? Or you just support them to some degree. And I think we all can agree if they're not receptive, not receptive. This is not even a conversation. But how do you go on from that point to get across to them possibly, or give them like stern reminders or subtle reminders? And that's the challenge sometimes. Or you just
But
you gotta
okay,
let them fall to their
but
face
chill.
too.
Okay, but chill. What I'm saying is, if I find you to be an annoying person who just keeps saying this over and over and over, pretty soon, even that subtle advice, I'm not going to hear it anymore. I'm going to tune it out. It's going to get to the point where whenever I see you coming, I'm going to walk the other way. What do you do?
No, 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 no. That's when I mean subtle is not wouldn't be. You're taking it as if I'm actually literally talking to you. Subtleties meaning like how more shit what Bob was trying to say before. Like I might hand you a book to read.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And within that book to read, or if you're around something they come up about such and such that and maybe a movie or I'm saying that you put on, I don't know, that kind of got hints of certain things in it. I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean
I don't.
I understand what you're saying,
So it's not like they're
if you're
expecting it,
handing me
right?
right, but if you're handing me this book and I get this book, it's like seriously, or we're sitting down to watch this movie, Days of Wine and
Hmm.
Roses, which I know y'all don't know what
I
it
mean, I'm
is
just saying you
because
gotta be
we're from the
subtle with
'60s,
it. I'm not
but
saying blatant, be
I'm
blatant
just
with it, but I'm saying be
I'm
subtle
just
with it.
saying, but even if it's subtle, and then that part comes up in the movie where somebody is being abused or somebody drinking whatever, it's like seriously? I mean, don't you think that might get me more like, what? I
But
don't want to
what
talk
I'm
to you.
saying is the person, right? So I know if you're receptive or not. If I know if you have a strong personality, we talked about it, and I ain't got to keep coming to you 2 or 3 times. I know you're not receptive.
So for you and Moshier, I asked, at what point do you stop? At what point do
Eh,
you stop being this annoying person? What point do you stop?
I don't think that's annoying. I don't think that's annoying
You may
to
not
be
think it's
supportive.
annoying, but the other person does. The other
Well,
person
unless they
does.
tell you, you won't know, right? So if they're
Okay,
telling you
okay,
annoying, then you'll
okay,
stop.
okay. But if they're avoiding you and you call them and they're not taking your calls, or you go over their house and you ring their bell and they're not answering you, whatever, or if they just blatantly come out and say, "Chill, you are being an annoying person, Mochir, you are being an annoying person. Leave me alone." But they have given you those subtle things. They're not answering your calls. They're not doing this. They're not doing that.
Mm,
At what point do
well,
you stop? At what point do you not get the hint?
I mean, I'm. It doesn't necessarily like I typically wouldn't take that route to where I feel like I'm being annoying. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I would never. I would definitely. Matter of fact, if
Oh
I know the
boy.
person, if I know you and I know you're just not receptive in general, I ain't gonna say nothing really. I'm not even gonna talk to you about it unless you tell me, right? And
Okay,
so,
but chill. Wouldn't you say that there are people who are being an annoying person, but they don't know that they're being
but that's different.
annoying?
Then we won't. That's just not. That wouldn't be a conversation,
Okay,
right?
well, it might be if they don't know
You
they're
gotta
being
know
an
you're being
annoying person.
annoying. If you gotta, you can only stop being annoying if you know you're annoying.
Yeah, well, well, I don't know because there are some people who are annoying and they don't know that they're being annoying, but
Right.
they're
But you wouldn't know. But how you know you've been annoying
excuse
until
me.
you know? So you only know that. You don't stop being annoying if you know you're being annoying. You know what I'm saying? If somebody, I could be annoying to somebody. Somebody could leave this chat right now. I don't even know I know their ass just because they don't like my voice, right? So how do I know? I can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? I can't address it
Chill.
until I know.
I'm telling you, you're being annoying.
well, well,
All right. So Shy Lady has
then
finally
I'll hop
popped
back
up.
on here tomorrow then and be more
Well,
annoying.
I won't have a show tomorrow, so you don't have to be annoying. So Shy Lady has popped in. I was wondering when she was gonna pop in. So Shy Lady, welcome, welcome.
Hey, I've been doing a whole lot of listening. I've been really listening to the guys go back and forth, and in between putting clothes in the washer, taking them out the dryer.
I'm bringing
But
mine over.
Of course he would, and he's gonna ask you for $5 while
Heck
he's
yeah, I
there.
can for till give me a couple weeks. I'll get it back to you.
See.
okay, I want to say that this pertains to me personally as a mother. Um, I got 3 kids. My kids call me a mama bear, which I am. But I know that I annoy them sometimes with my, you know, I guess you can say my opinions, but I don't think they're really opinions. They're like life experiences. I would like to call them, and I'll like tell them things over and over, particularly my sons. I'll tell them something over and I'm like, you gotta do this, you gotta do like, mom, chill. I keep telling you, I got this or whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't. And then a lot of times when they don't listen, then they find out that I was right. I know sometimes that could be good for people. They have to just find out on their own, but I don't really think I'm annoying. I just think that I'm doing the right thing by trying to help my kids not make, you know, mistakes that I could see happening. And I know they're going to have their own trials and errors, but if I can try to help them avoid it, I will. And if I have to be annoying sometimes, then so be it. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, before I just want to bring up what Trying Cat said. He has a scenario. Someone has a bad drinking problem, is in the car, damn near kills somebody, goes to prison for it, gets out, continues to do the same stupid thing over and over. At what point do you intervene after you've told them multiple times you shouldn't drink and drive? Something could happen to you or someone else. Please stop drinking and driving. Tron, we were talking about this last week. So anybody want to tackle this one? They've been to prison, damn near kill someone. They keep doing the same thing over and over. Crucible.
I say good luck to you for the rest of your life. If going to prison, almost killing somebody, and literally killing yourself over years' time with all the drinking, if that doesn't get your attention, I don't know that anything is going to. I hate to ever use the word irredeemable and say people are irredeemable, but when you've gone through what that scenario, what Troncat was describing there, that's got to be pretty close to the bottom. And if those events are not enough to get your attention, just what exactly moves the needle for you? So there are people who I've known them, and they've died from alcoholism, and it is a disease. And I know we don't want to get off on a tangent here, but I'm not making excuses for people who do what he's describing there, but some people.
I'm assuming you just got a phone
I
call.
did. Sorry about that. Yeah. Some people are just sick. It's a disease and they refuse to be treated for it. So yeah, that's a real tough one. I mean, I think at that point, as I said earlier, you kind of step away because your words cannot possibly, your words pale in comparison from the experiences that they've had. So if the experiences don't get their attention, I don't see how somebody's words will.
So if I'm going to be that annoying person that consistently tells you that you should stop drinking, and you almost killed someone, you went to prison for it. Do you just, I mean, you just let them go and kill someone if they kill someone? When you say good luck, are you saying if you kill somebody, you kill somebody?
Um, it's
Fortunately,
something
yes.
fiction.
Okay, who is talking, Moshir or Crucible? That was it was directed towards Crucible. Moshir, you can have the mic after Crucible. So Crucible.
Yeah, I don't, you put it in very harsh terms there, but yes, I think you're right. I wouldn't say good luck, obviously, but um, I would say, look, I have done all I can do here. If you would like my help in the future, I'd be more than happy to. But if you continue to do this, you're going to wind up in a very bad place, or you're going to be dead. I can't help you, but if you decide you want help down the road, I'll be here. But unfortunately, I think bad things are going to happen in that scenario, and you can't control them.
Okay, Moshir.
I think this story is a fictional story, because if someone killed someone by by a car because he was drunk, then he will not. I think he will have a good lesson in a prison, and he will not repeat it. And that's
Well,
my
Moshir,
just
Moshir,
analysis.
I don't know, because about 2 weeks ago we were going back and forth on my show over something that they do here in the United States called a victim statement. And anybody who knows, where I've been in the last 2 weeks, I was in Minnesota. A friend of mine, I ironically, someone I've known since I was 14 years old. He's 15. We were like brother and sister. Um, was in a car accident, DUI. He was on life support. Just recently came off. One person in serious condition. The other two people were able to walk away. The driver had his license suspended because of a DUI. And in the US, usually your license is suspended after the third DUI. So it's not a fictional story. These things do happen.
What is DUI? I don't know what do you mean.
Driving under the influence of being drunk. So
Okay,
you're,
okay.
yeah. So so what Troncat said, when I read that, I thought about my friend. His parents are elderly. They're in their 80s, pushing 90. Freaking out. When I was there, I literally dropped everything that I was doing and I went. And you see them and they're connected to all these tubes, and the face is bruised and they're battered, whatever. And the parents are asking. They're planning the funeral. So these things do happen. So everyone doesn't necessarily listen to the advice that you're giving. That's why I'm saying, Moshir, when you said that there is a way, if someone doesn't want to listen to your unsolicited advice, and they think you're annoying, they're not going to. You have people who drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, and they've been drinking for years, and they're alcoholics, or they take drugs, and they've ruined their entire lives. They've lost their family, they've lost their kids, they lost their job, and they still don't listen to you. What do you do? At what point do you walk away? No matter how much you love that person, if it's your mother, brother, sister, father, whatever, your children, at what point do you walk away you're because the power of the drink, or the power of the drug, or the power of, I'm in love, I love this person but they love me? At what point do you walk away? At what point do you stop being that annoying person?
We have answered you, and we didn't listen to your advice. So, what is your saying about this? So, if you don't mind to tell us what you will do.
I mean, at some point you walk away. And again, anyone who knows me, I'm not going to argue with someone. I'm not going to keep going round and round, whatever, whether I disagree with them, whether they think they're right, they think I'm wrong, whatever. At some point you walk away, because if you're not getting through to the person, and as much as and in cases of drugs and alcohol, whatever, as much as it may hurt you, whatever, I don't want to still sit around and be there while I watch them just completely just destroy themselves. And if they're not going to listen, unless they have something that's literally going to jar them out of what they're doing, where something happens where they're like, oh my God, I need to. to to stop this, and I'm sitting up here trying for years and years or months and months, and I'm not getting through to them. Apparently, I'm not the person, or I'm not the situation that's going to make them change. I would have to stop and I would have to walk away. I would have to say, God bless you. I have to walk away, because then it becomes a waste of my time. And it sounds harsh, but Moshir, that is what I would do.
Mhm. Okay.
So, I mean, that's what I would do. So, guys, we're at the 150 mark, and you guys know I don't like taking my show to the very end where I'm rushing. So, I'm going to start with Moshir. Do you want to give any last words that you would like to say or anything?
I just want to know at what time your show start, and what is the time there, because I have different time here.
I am in Southern California, so I'm Pacific Standard Time, and I know you're in Palestine, and I'm not sure what the time difference is there, but
It's
just
10 to 1 a.m. in the
okay.
morning.
So yeah, so just put in Los Angeles if you on your phone. If you do the world clock, just put in
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Yes, but I am
Okay.
1 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday. Even though I say 1 p.m., I'm usually like 3 or 4 minutes late starting. Um, but 1 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday.
Monday to Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to go to Shy Lady. Shy Lady, you have any last words?
Just last words. I think that when people, we've been talking about people being annoyed and when do you stop, and I want to say it's deeper than what people might think about a person's behavior. Because if you're suffering from alcoholism and you wind up in prison because of your actions, and I think it's deeper than just someone not listening. I think at this point you're fighting against um, spiritual demons that are controlling you, because that's the only way that something is actually going to, if you're going to actually have to surrender to a higher power. If you believe in God, you're going to have to submit and call on God for an intervention, because I know people in my family who were literally diagnosed with lung cancer or throat cancer, but they continue to smoke because it was such a stronghold that they just could not let go of, even with knowing the result of this cancer eating their body. So I think it has to be, they know that they're suffering. They know they just don't have the willpower to call on a higher power to say, take this away from me. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay. All right. And Crucible.
Yeah, hi. This was a really interesting, fun show today, and
It was supposed to be fun.
it was. It was. There's an old axiom: the only thing we can be sure of in life is death and taxes. Well, I'm going to amend that to death, taxes, and annoying people. They're just part of our lives. I mean, they're just like, it's like the rain and the snow. It just happens. But the other flip side of that, and you guys were alluding to it, Chill and you, Sal, were alluding to it a little earlier. We ourselves as individuals, we can be annoying too. The old thought process is everybody else is annoying. I'm not annoying. I'm just being helpful. But annoyance is in the ears and the eyes of the beholder. So I know people love to say, I'm not being annoying, I'm just being helpful. Well, the person who you're talking to says you're being annoying. That means you're annoying. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters, the vote that counts, is the person who is hearing it. If they say you're annoying, they think you're annoying, at least for that one particular episode. So we're all guilty of it. We all need to be a little bit more self-aware, but always good food for thought, Sala. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Chillwell.
Oh man, my bad. Yeah. So I, in closing, I guess overall the show was about being annoying, and who you gotta have an annoying relative in your life. It makes for
Do
an
you have to?
eventful evening.
Do
Yes,
you
of
have
course.
to?
Like I listen, it's no like I'm an antagonist. I'm a younger brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the baby, but I'm the master. I'm the middle child, the master antagonist. in the story. So it's you gotta have one in every story, right? In every book, you gotta have that antagonist. You gotta and that would be me at times, and sometimes it could be another person, but overall, there's levels to it, and sometimes people just are pessimistic and they have horrible lives. So everything's. Have you met somebody that's everything annoying to their ass? Have you met that person? I know
Yep.
we all know that one person.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
damn, do you like anything? Damn,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So it's always that right there. I mean, but hell, I feel like you gotta treat things as opportunities. When people are annoying, how to deal with them. Just try to decrease the time you're with them and increase your patience. Meditate maybe while you're with them. Stuff like that is what I mean, because without eventfulness in your life, it's quite boring. So I appreciate all of it. I try to appreciate the good and bad, and
All right.
when the bad come along, just try to make sure I'm prepared for it, or have it help me than to hurt me. Because there's a lot of damn annoying, like girls with bo, cute girl with bo. That's
Yeah,
annoying.
and men with BO too. So,
Yeah, breath stank. Come here, Solid. Let me talk to you real quick. I was thinking
oh,
about.
excuse
I was
you.
thinking. Let me
Hello.
talk to you. Let me talk. What about that
Shy Lady says
$5?
she'll agree with you. There are people who complain about everything. Shy Lady, did you want to say something else? Because I'm going through this chat. Did you want to say something else?
Oh no, I'm good. I've enjoyed the show. Good show.
Okay. And Chill, I was going to actually hit you up
Hey,
later and
shy
ask
lady.
you, did you want to host another one of my shows? So you guys, you know how Chill is when he hosts one of my shows.
Oh, sure. I can. Of course. I mean,
So
that's
yeah.
not a problem.
So
We'll work it out
um
next week.
all right, everyone. So I am done. That is it. You guys, thank you for coming. Moshir, Crucible, Chill, Shy Lady, Shorty, thank you for trying to be here. Maybe next time you'll be able to come in. Am I missing someone that was
See
on the panel?
everybody.
I know I am. Oh,
Have a nice day
Mr.
to all
and
of you.
thank you, Moshir, and Mr. B. Thank you. So, and to everyone, thank you so much for coming. And Tony Lee, thank you so much for all of your gifts. And the same thing with who else gave me a gift? It was Power Girl. So, everyone,
I
thank you
know
for
you got
coming and
$5.
listening. And again, today is my Thursday is my Friday. I will not see you guys until Monday. And if, Angie, if you want me to do a question and answer show, I would be more than happy to do that next week. I will try to do that and see how it goes. And if you guys want to ask questions, or maybe we can do a question and answer where everyone's here. We can ask everyone whatever. And if you guys want to answer, you can answer. If not, then not a problem. But
I
other than
got
that,
my question. Can you guess my question, son?
oh boy, I can kind of imagine what your question is. I can imagine what your question is. Do we want to know what that question is? Chill,
Oh no, I'm just saying. I was just asking. I was just thinking like if I could. I might got a
because
couple questions.
I have a couple of questions for Sweet Willie, not for Chill Will. I have some questions for Sweet Willie.
Yeah, I bet y'all do. I bet all the ladies out there.
Oh Lord have mercy. See. This is why. This is why I say if you go out on a date, you pay for your own the first time around. You pay for your own on the first date.
I ain't gonna
This is
let you
why
pay
I
for
say
your
because
own.
you
I
got
ain't gonna let
Sweet
you pay
Willie
for your.
out there.
Yeah, Sweet Willie is sweet. So if you want, listen, you gonna
Oh
want to give it to
Lord.
Sweet Willie. Sweet Willie gonna treat you good, baby girl. Just come on now and sit on my
Mhm.
lap.
Now we're
You
gonna go
know,
down
you go
this baby
reaching that cooler in my van and get out that great pop.
in
I'll take
the
these
van.
keys.
The van. Okay, y'all were talking about McDonald's. Now I got to talk about people who if you're gonna drive up in a van. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
that van is that cooler.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on Monday and on Saturday, July 23rd. Ba and I are going to be on Friendly Differences, and we will be doing our abortion show. So Other than that, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day and go where the wind takes you. Bye. Ninja, thank you for coming. Power Girl, Frankie, Tony Lee, D-Mac, Troncat, thank you for all of your comments. Appreciate it. Angie, Brina, Shield, Moshier, everyone. Crucible, Bob was here earlier. Thanks for popping in. Tulian, all of you. I do appreciate you. I really, really do. My show does not work unless you all show up, because I be talking to myself. And people who are over on YouTube, Sean. Thank you, I guess. And over on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you guys. And on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Bye.